This is the answer key review for Graphing Systems of Equation Review Worksheet, periods 1, 5, and 6, math. This is your homework for Tuesday night. So what you need to do is you need to check your answers, and then any problem that you missed, you need to watch the video so you can figure out what you did incorrectly, and you also need to correct your work on your worksheet because you will be turning the worksheet in tomorrow before the quiz. Okay, problem number 1, the answer is 4, -3. So if you got 4, -3, then you don't need to watch this video. You can move on to number 2. All right, so for problem number 1, both of the equations are already in slope-intercept form. So in the first equation, the slope is -1/2 and b is -1. So when I go to graph it, I'm going to put a point on -1 on the y-axis, and then my slope is -1/2, which means the rise is -1 and the run is 2. So from my y-intercept -1, I'm going to go down 1, right 2. I'm going to go down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2. The opposite of that would be going up 1, left 2. So I'm going to go back to my y-intercept, and I'll go up 1, left 2, up 1, left 2, and I'm going to go one more, up 1, left 2. Okay? For the second equation, the slope is 1/4, and the y-intercept is -4 because it was already in slope-intercept form. So on this one, I'm going to go over and I'm going to put a point on -4 on the y-axis, and then my rise is 1 and my run is 4, so that means I'm going to go up 1, right 4, which puts me right here on top of the other red one, up 1, right 4. I don't have to go any farther because I'm looking for where the two lines actually cross, and they cross right here. So that point, if you start at the origin, you go 4 right, 3 down. That gives you the answer of 4, -3. Okay, for problem number 2, the answer was 4, -1. So again, if you already got 4, -1, then you don't need to watch this video. But if you didn't, you need to watch the video, figure out your mistakes, fix your mistakes on your paper, and then you can move on to number 3. Okay, so on problem number 2, the first equation kind of looks like it's in slope-intercept form, but it's missing an x. So if you wanted to, you could add a 0x. That way you know what your slope is. So my slope is 0/1, and my b is -1. So when I go to graph this, I'm going to go to the y-axis and go to -1, put a point, and then my slope is 0/1. So I rise 0 and I go right 1. So if I go from my y-intercept and I go up 0 and right 1, I'm here. Right 0 or up 0, right 1, up 0, right 1, up 0, right 1. This is going to be my horizontal line through y equals -1. On the second equation, it's already in slope-intercept form. So my slope is -5/2, and my y-intercept is 4. So I'm going to go to my y-axis to 4, and I'm going to put a point. And then my rise is -5. So from there, I'm going to go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and right 2, 1, 2. So here we are. And then I go down again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right 2. Okay, but I don't have to go any farther because my two lines have already crossed, and they crossed right here, and that is the point 2, -1. So as you can tell, after I actually did this problem, the answer is not 4, -1, it was 2, -1. Sorry about that. So the answer is 2, -1. My apologies. Okay, problem number 3. The answer is infinitely many solutions on the line. The two lines were on top of each other. So if you did not get that answer, you need to watch the video so you can figure out your mistakes so you can correct your work. The first equation, y equals -5x minus 2, is already in slope-intercept form. So m is -5/1. b is -2. So when I go to graph it, I'm going to go over to the y-axis and I'm going to put a point on -2. And then my slope is -5/1. So for my y-intercept, I'm going to go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right 1. Now if I go again, I'm going to go off my page. So instead of going down 5, right 1, I'm going to go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, left 1. I'm going to do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, left 1. So here's my line. Okay. Now the second equation is not in slope-intercept form, so the first thing I'm going to do, positive 10x, I'm going to subtract 10x from both sides. And I get 2y equals negative 10x minus 4. I'm going to divide both sides by 2, so divide everything by 2. So I get y equals negative 10 over 2 is negative 5 over 1x. Negative 2 over 2 is negative 2. So my slope is negative 5 over 1, and my b is negative 2. Now, one thing I'm going to point out to you right here is, just notice really quickly before we graph this equation, notice how they both have a slope of negative 5 over 1, and they both have a y-intercept of negative 2. So that means something must be special about this problem. So when I go to graph it, I'm going to go to -2 and put a point. Notice they're already on top of each other, but then I'm going to go ahead and use the slope. I go down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right 1. Or I can go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, left 1, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, left 1. If you notice, they're totally on top of each other. So that's why the answer was infinitely many solutions. Okay, problem number 4. The answer is 3, -2. So if you got the answer 3, -2, you can move on. If not, you need to go through this video. All right, so both equations are already in slope-intercept form. So in the first equation, the slope is -5/3, and the y-intercept is 3. So I'm going to go up to 3 on the y-axis, put a point. Then I'm going to go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right 3. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right 3. If I go again, I'm going to go off my page, so I'm going to try going the opposite way. So I'm going to go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, left 3. All right, so now let's go to the second equation. The slope is 1/3, and the y-intercept is -3. So I'm going to go to my y-axis, I'm going to go to -3, and then I'm going to go up 1, right 3, up 1, right 3. I don't even have to go any farther because they've already crossed. So my two lines cross right here at this point, which is, if you start at the origin, you go 3 right, 2 down. The answer is 3, -2. All right, problem number 5. Okay, so y equals 4x plus 3 is already in slope-intercept form. So my slope is 4 over 1. My y-intercept is 3. So I'm going to go up to 3 and put a point. Then I'm going to go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right 1. If I go again, I'm going to be off my page, so I better go the opposite way. Down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, left 1. Better do it a couple more times. Down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, left 1. Down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, left 1. Okay, so the second equation. It's not in slope-intercept form. Now, if you wanted to, you could put a 1 in front of the x and the y. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 1x from both sides. And I get 1y equals -1x minus 2. Divide everything by 1, which doesn't really change anything. So my slope is -1 over 1, and my y-intercept is -2 divided by 1 is -2. So I'm going to go to my y-intercept and go to -2. Then I'm going to go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. That's not going to do me any good. I'm going away from the red line. So I need to go back to my y-intercept and do the opposite. So I'm going to go up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1. So you should notice that they cross right here at this point. Start at the origin, go left 1, down 1. That's how we get our answer of -1, -1. Okay, problem number 6. The answer is 4, negative 4. So if you got 4, negative 4, you can go on to the next problem. Otherwise, you need to watch the video and make corrections on your review sheet. All right, so the first equation is already in slope-intercept form. So the slope is negative 1/2. Y-intercept is negative 2. So I'm going to go down to negative 2 and put a point. And my rise is negative 1 and my run is 2. So that's down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2. Should probably go the opposite way too. So up 1, left 2, up 1, left 2, up 1, left 2. Hopefully that's enough points. On the second equation, it's not quite in slope-intercept form. All I have to do is divide everything by 2, and I get y equals negative 3/2 x plus 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So my slope is negative 3/2, and my y-intercept is 2. So I'm going to go up to 2 and put a point, and then I'm going to go down 3. 1, 2, 3, right 2. They don't cross yet. Go down 3. 1, 2, 3, right 2. Down 3. 1, 2, 3, right 2. And if you notice, they cross right here at this point, which is if you start at the origin, go right 4, down 4. That's the point for negative 4. Okay, problem number 7. The answer is 3, negative 2. If you got 3, negative 2, you can go on to number 8. If not, you need to watch this and make corrections on your review. All right, so on number 7, the first equation is already in slope-intercept form, so the slope is 1/3 and the y-intercept is negative 3. So I'm going to go from the origin down to negative 3 and put a point. Rise is 1, so I go up 1, and the slope or the run is 3, so right 3. Here's my point. Up 1, right 3. Up 1, right. Up 1, right 3. Okay. Probably should go the opposite way too, so I'm going to go down 1, left 3, down 1, left 3. Hopefully that's enough points. I can always come back if I need to. On the second equation, I'm going to add a 1 in front of the x, so my slope is negative 1/1, and my y-intercept is 1. So I'm going to go up to 1 on the y-intercept, and I'm going to go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, and they cross right at this point, which is 3 to the right, 2 down, which is the point 3, negative 2. All right, problem number 8. So the answer is no solutions. The two lines were parallel. Again, if you got that answer, you can move on. If not, you need to watch my video and make corrections to your review. First equation, y equals negative 2x plus 2, is already in slope-intercept form. So the slope is negative 2/1, and the y-intercept is 2. So I'm going to go up to 2 and put a point, and then my slope is negative 2/1, so I'm going to go down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1. On the second equation, it's not quite in slope-intercept form, so I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. And we get y equals negative 2x minus 2. So my slope is negative 2/1. My y-intercept is negative 2. And again, let me just point out to you, I notice that my slopes are the same, but my y-intercepts are different. So I know that means something's going to happen here. All right, so when I go to graph this second equation, I'm going to go down to negative 2 and put a point. Then I'm going to go down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1. I could have gone up 2, left 1. And if you notice, the two lines are never going to cross, which means they're parallel, which means the answer is no solutions. Okay, for problem number 9, 10, and 11, it was find the slope. Now this is not on the quiz, this is just review. So here are the answers to the problems. Number 9 was 7/2, number 10 was negative 1/1, and number 11 is 0 slope. Up here in the top right hand corner, I wrote the slope formula, m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1. So in number 9, I had to take 9 minus 2 over 5 minus 3, gives me 7/2. Number 10, I had to take -7 minus -3 over 0 minus -4. That gives me -4 over 4, which reduces to -1 over 1. If you just had the answer -1 on number 10, that would be fine too. Number 11, when I plug in 4 minus 4 on top and 4 minus 5 on the bottom, I get 0 over -1. 0 on top means 0 slope. Now, the last two problems were on the board. I gave you a sphere and you had to find the surface area and the volume. So I'm going to do the surface area first. Okay, the surface area formula is 4 pi r squared. And remember, you have to show the whole process. So we have 4 times 3.14159. And I gave you the diameter is 6.8 feet. So when I take 6.8 divided by 2, that's 3.4. So that's the radius. So the radius is 3.4 feet. And then I'm going to square it. When I take 3.4 times 3.4, I get 11.56. So I should write 4 times 3.14159 times 11.56 feet squared now. All right, next step, I'm going to take 4 times 3.14159. That gives me 12.56636, not rounding anything, times 11.56 feet squared. Now I'm ready to take that 12.56636 times 11.56, and that gives me 145.26712 feet squared, which means to the nearest tenth, that's 145.3 feet squared, because the 6 tells you to round up the 2. So my answer for surface area is 145.3 feet squared. Okay, and lastly, we got to find the volume of the same sphere. So again, the radius is not going to change. It's still going to be 3.4 feet. So volume equals 4/3 pi r cubed. So volume equals 4/3 times 3.14159. The radius is 3.4 feet cubed. When I cube 3.4, so I took 3.4 times 3.4 times 3.4 on the calculator. I get 4 over 3 times 3.14159, and I get 39.304 feet cubed. We need to have a cube on there now. So volume equals, now I'm going to take 4 times 3.14159 first. That gives me 12.56636 times 39.304 feet cubed. I haven't done anything with the divided by 3 yet. So volume equals, I'm going to take 12.56636 times 39.304. I'm not getting rid of any numbers, so I get 493.90821 feet cubed. All right, now I need to divide that by 3, and I get volume equals 164.63607 feet cubed. Equals, when I round to the nearest tenth, that's 164.6 feet cubed. Okay, so that ends the review video, so make sure you have your review done by tomorrow because you'll be turning it in. Have a great night. See you tomorrow. Good luck on the quiz tomorrow.